If you've grabbed the person initially with this logline or your one-page pitch and you're trying to expand the world, that's what this document does.
And I see it as like a picture book representation of the look and feel of your show.
Obviously has the idea and anything around what the episodes look like, the breakdowns of the episodes. It discusses talent and access, marketability, audience, style and tone go in there, why it needs to be made, like why now.
Short, sharp, clear, good writing, captivating writing, some really key images if need be. I suppose that would be for me. You don't want to dump down a Bible. You don't want to put down, here's a 50-page document about how this thing is going to look. No one's going to read that. You want it to be a handful of pages, 5 to 10 pages.
Flesh your idea out into what might run to 30-odd pages and then start to refine that down, brush off all the dirt and get rid of all the stuff that you don't need, and refine it and refine it and refine it until it works perfectly at that 12, let's say a dozen pages, for example. And then you want to refine everything that's on the 11 pages that nobody's ever going to read to make sure that the front page tells the story of those 12 perfectly.
If you've pulled together a pitch deck, you're probably fairly far down the process, and it's a great way of making you have organised thoughts. So you're thinking through your treatment, which will then play into the budget that you'll be writing, which will then play into the schedule that you'll be writing. So everything starts coming together when you do your pitch deck and you start pulling your visuals together, and you could start thinking about what a press release would look like and what your on-air promotion is going to look like. And if you see it through that prism, you start creating better television. So it's more than a pitch deck, it's a way of thinking.
It's got to be creative. You've got to give people a visual idea, a visual reference point to get excited. Some people are visually oriented, some people are more audio based. So for those that like visuals, make it look amazing. Or put another way, why would you want it to look boring?
A pitch deck is your sales document. It's your one moment where you've got a captive audience where you can sell this show. So, and it's short, it's sharp, and it's clear. So, each page will have a picture that evokes something that relates to the show, and words, keywords. Use all those words that, the buzzwords. Buzzwords work. For me, a buzzword is something that makes you feel something. So, heartwarming, uplifting, journey, emotional, loneliness. For me, I think with factual shows and the shows that I tend to do, things that make you feel, buzzwords that make you feel, and they're so important. Those words stay with people. They stand out from all the blah blah. Blah blah is just boring.
Every detail counts.
Yes.
Every word, but not just every word, how that word looks, the colours that word is used in. Every single detail should sell your brand, your idea, and your program. And if there is anything that's not doing that, then it shouldn't be there.
Obviously, a pitch deck includes all the obvious things, the title, the log line, what's the show about, but it should also give more pragmatic sense to how the show can work. Is it a multi-million-dollar idea? Is it a smaller idea? How many episodes do you get out of it? If you were to, does it have cliffhangers? Am I going to be able to run it 3 nights a week, 1 night a week? They're all the things that you need to communicate within your document.
Who's the audience? Why are they going to watch it? Why are they going to come back? Why is it different?
And if you can get into a room, the whole point of a pitch doc is to get you into a room. That's the other thing that people forget. People think our show will be signed off the back of this document. It's not that at all. The whole point of a pitch document is to get you into a meeting. It's to get a meeting with somebody in which you can then use your real self to try and sell this idea.
Once you started on the pitch deck, it will inform your thinking. However, I do beg you to not stand up and do a presentation that is death by PowerPoint. Do not read the words that are on screen. You can assume your commissioner can actually read. keep the amount of text at the absolute minimum and speak entertainingly. Otherwise, they'll start texting or looking at their phones and you've lost them. You need to be interesting.
When you go in there and you may have 10 minutes, you may have half an hour, you need to be able to fully get them immersed in what your idea. You need to be passionate about that so they can see that, what this show is and who's going to make it and why they should be taking this chance. But you want to leave something behind for them to, not just get caught up in just the show that you've just sold them physically, but when you leave, they've got something actually tactile that that they can flick around and discuss, in their next development meeting as to why, what show actually do they remember? Because they're getting pitched a lot of shows. Some people are, are getting pitched, 10 shows a week. How are you going to remember the one that stands out the most? What are you going to go to?
A pitch deck is for me is a way of starting a conversation. We never go in presenting an idea as this is perfect and we expect you to just buy this. It's a way of exploring an idea and starting a conversation around a type of program or a type of idea that engages the audience, the commissioners, in a conversation around the idea to see where they'd like it to go. Because it's interesting what I think, but it's not really relevant. They're the one that's buying it. They're the one that's putting their money into it. So we want them to be as invested in the idea as we are.
All the terrible things they'll ask you, have all the answers, produce it like it is a TV show. Make it compelling. Go and ask a question. When they say, why you? Be prepared. Why you? Why are you the right person to make this?
When you start getting a bit of a track record and people start trusting that what you make is going to be quality, then they may give you a tiny bit more leeway that you don't know every bell and whistle of the research beforehand. But if you're fresh to it, it can't hurt to know all the ins and outs. And when you start researching and getting into the deeper nitty-gritty, you start finding those little tidbits that people don't know. And those little bits that people don't know are the bits you go, oh, did you know that little bit about that? Oh, wow, okay, what a great little idea, or what a great little moment. Wouldn't that be good to be part of the show?